So I'm seeing headlines that are good to see, predictable, but they have to do with Kyle Rittenhouse and how, depending on what you read, either they're saying that new charges will not be filed against him or current charges will be dropped. I think that's, at this point, the consensus, and that's great. Again, predictable. Anybody who bothered to actually watch the footage knows that it was clear-cut that he was being attacked and that he was not the aggressor. But anyways, that's not the real point. The point is to kind of highlight the golden opportunity that he has right now to do some real serious damage to the people who smeared him. The issue is that so far, and for a long time, conservatives have been given that opportunity and have not opted to take advantage of it. They will. It's really disappointing, you know. They'd prefer to just kind of put the coat over the head and walk out to the town car every day for the rest of their lives if it takes, while the media harangues them and their families and just pray that it blows over. When, they could dig their heels in and go for the kill. I'm thinking right now, I just looked this up, and there's nothing definitive on this, but the Covington Catholic kids, in particular Nick Sandman, he asked for something like $250 million from the New York Times, and I couldn't find anything that said this definitively, so forgive me if I'm wrong about this, but I saw an analysis from a bunch of different legal experts, and they were estimating that he may have only walked away from that lawsuit with something like 50 G's, which is just like, that's ridiculous. There's nothing. I know the New York Times is in trouble right now, but they can peel off 50 G's and keep soldiering on, and more importantly, keep on doing what they're doing, which is, running interference, and in some cases running offense for the establishment. I'm thinking also to a few years back, that Muslim guy in the UK, Majid Nawaz, he went after, I think, the SPLC or something like that, and that got everybody really excited. Shouldn't have, because it's clear that he's definitely not one of our guys. He's just, I don't know, I think he's a grifter, just filling a niche. If he even still is anymore, who knows? I haven't heard anything from him in a while. But I think it was the same deal. Like, he walked away from that with peanuts. If it was something like 50 G's or whatever, or even if it was something like $1 million, the SPLC can afford to lose $1 million and keep on going. That's nothing for them. And this whole thing got me thinking about another case that I think a lot of us have forgotten about, which is maybe understandable because it doesn't really involve any of our guys to any degree. But think back a few years and remember the time when Hulk Hogan went after Gawker and how that ended up. For those who might not remember, Hulk Hogan had said some spicy things about how he didn't want his daughter to date certain people. But the real focus, that was in there, of course. The media did not forget to hammer that one, but really what they were going after, the intrigue for them, was that a sex tape had leaked of Hulk Hogan banging a friend of his wives or something like that, which is, of course, gross. But it's, I think, worse to then publish that and show it to the world. Like, who the fuck wants to see Hulk Hogan's 60-year-old oily butt cheeks? It's gross. But anyways, he didn't take it lying down like pretty much all of our guys have done when things like this happen to them, when they're smeared and defamed publicly forever. That's what our side has done. But he didn't do that. He dug his heels in, and he wasn't out giving media interviews or anything stupid like that. And he took Gawker, which, by the way, again, if you don't remember, there's a reason for that, because they didn't survive this, but if you don't remember, they were a total scumbag operation. Like, I think one of their editors was quoted in court as saying that he would publish child pornography, and somebody asked him well, how young is too young? I think he said something like 9 or something like that. So in other words, if the kid was older than 9 years old, he would publish that. He would consider that, and I'm talking about the actual material itself, not the story surrounding the people in it. He was specifically being asked about the material, the videos or the pictures or whatever. He said he would publish that. So that's the kind of people we're talking about here. And Hulk Hogan didn't cede any ground to these people. He went after them hard. He hit them with he said he would only accept, I think it was a $350 or $300 million settlement, which he won. And the result of that was Gawker shuttered their doors. They were dead within about a month, I think. Because the point for Hulk Hogan, and I know what the obvious response to that is, well, it's Hulk Hogan. He's got more money than he could spend in 10 lifetimes. That's true. But he wasn't in it for the money. And he went hard, and he won. And he got a cancer on our media landscape excised. So, I mean, it can be done. And if the retort I would make to the notion that Hulk Hogan had a bunch of money, true, but what he did not have was any support. Nobody was willing to come out because, he had said racist things, and the whole stuff with him and his buddy's girlfriend or wife or whatever was just gross. So he didn't have any support. Somebody like Kyle Rittenhouse does. And we need to let him know that in more than just YouTube comments. Obviously there too. But yeah, the message to Kyle Rittenhouse needs to be accept nothing from these people that will not seriously hurt them. Something like the New York Times, I think they've gone through a row over the last 2 years where they have laid off hundreds of employees. And we all know the mainstream media is absolutely propped up by billionaire interests and, fellow corporate interests. So something like $250 million, if Nicholas Sandmann had actually achieved that very well could have destroyed the New York Times. But there's a lot of, again, with Sandmann, it's all speculation. I don't know for sure. I don't want to say for sure, but it looks as though they might have given up in their case. And Rittenhouse and his people need to be told, all of the messaging from us needs to be, do not give up. We are not going to forget you. We've got your back, and this is much more important than just money. These institutions need to get a serious gut punch. So, anyways, I don't know if that's a very hot take. I don't think it is, but it needs to be said. Stop fighting fair with these people. Stop losing gracefully. And let's start winning savagely. Bye.